Okay, thank you for joining. So let me get the unit specification. So today we've come to our last tutorial before our assignment discussion. So today we're going to be able to use tools and standards for Linux system fundamentals, command lines, interfaces, user group management. So in our previous tutorial, we introduced cloud computing fundamentals. We looked into the technology that have been used. And yesterday, we also looked into Docker and Kubernetes, which are two very important cloud computing technologies. So in today's session, we will now circle back to our virtual machines, our our instances. And what we'll cover today is for learning outcome, and the main 1 second presentation from beginning. So our main goal of today's session is to look into Linux system fundamentals. So we already know the instances refers to virtual server for running application on AWS infrastructure. So with this instance, they're now essential. They're essentially virtual machine that can run on AWS cloud infrastructure. And we also looked into our previous tutorial and we saw the different types of instances depending on the type of virtual machine we require. Also, what we need to know is that with these instances, we can now create them using Linux administrator. So Linux is simply an operating system, such as Windows, Mac, Mac operating system, so on. So with the Linux administrator, which is working with AWS systems, it typically handles various tasks to ensure the smooth operations, security, and optimization of our virtual server. So as you can see here, what can we do with our Linux administrator? There are various tasks, activities that we can do. We can do provisioning instances. So with AWS Management Console or AWS CLI, or the infrastructure as code, we can now monitor, we can now do provisioning. So as you can see, to effectively provisioning a Linux virtual machine in the cloud, it is essential to understand the fundamentals and the steps that are involved on setting up our virtual machine. So there are various steps which has to be covered for us to create this. And I found a video which take us through the steps that we need to follow. For security purpose, I've not signed into my AWS account, but this video shows us in detail what we need to know about Linux virtual machine. So let me get this video up and running. Share computer sound. Please let me know if you can hear the audio.
I can hear it.
Imagine, so it becomes.
And that's why Akamai gives you the option of centralized cloud computing and edge cloud computing, but seamlessly knits the two together.
What will you build next?
Hi everyone. Let's go ahead and see how you can
Can you hear the video?
Yes, I can hear the video.
launch Ubuntu machine at AWS. We have opened here AWS console. Here you need to search EC2. We will be using here EC2 to launch Ubuntu machine. Then you need to click on that. Thereafter you need to also select here in which particular region you want to launch your machine. There are many regions available. You can select any of these regions. So I'm just gonna leave it as default, North Virginia. In North Virginia, I'm gonna create here, I'm gonna launch here a EC2 machine here. So you will get here an option that launch instance. You need to click on launch instance. All right. So there you get here a launch instance. Otherwise, if you don't want to go with that particular path, you can click on here instances. Then you will see there is no instances. Then you can click on launch instance from here. Then you need to give here a name of instance which you want to give to your machine here. So I'm going to give here a name as YouTube. All right. Thereafter, it says that which particular application or operating system you want to run on your machine here. So this is machine name. Now let me tell you here, like you have your machine on your local system, it has some name and then it has some operating system installed on your machine there. So that operating system you need to select here. I'm gonna launch here Ubuntu machine. So you need to select here Ubuntu. There are many other type of options available there. Thereafter it says that I'm eligible to the free tier. That means this particular machine is not going to cost if I'm falling in a free tier. All right, so that's the machine here. And if you want to change your machine type, you can simply change that. But particularly I'm going to select here Ubuntu 22.04. So as of now, at current date in 2023, this Ubuntu server 22.04 is the latest version there. And the architecture I'm going to use here 64-bit 86 architecture. It provides two type of options here, whether you can launch Intel or AMD machine and here ARM machine. But I'm going to use here Intel and the AMD machine. Once all these things are done, then I'm just gonna select here T2 micro. All right, so this one is very small instance which have just one CPU and 1 GB of memory. Running power for this particular instance is very low. So if you run these type of instance, it's not going to cost you much. After doing all these things, then you come to here a key pair login. So this is very important step here. You need to select a particular key pair if you have here. Otherwise, if you do not have any key pair, then you need to create here a new key pair which you will be using to log in your Ubuntu machine here. So I'm gonna create here the name of key pair is YouTube and the key pair type is RSA. You can choose any of these, whatever you want. Thereafter, I'm gonna select here .pam file. Then I'm just gonna create this key pair. It will download your youtube.pam. Do remember, once it is created, you can download it only once. There is no other options to download it second time. So make sure that when you create this new key pair, you make sure that you store this key pair safely. Otherwise, you will not get option to download it second time. Thereafter here it provides a lot of options for network setting. So this particular part says that from where you want to access your machine. So if you say there allow SSH traffic from anywhere, that's mean you are going to open your machine to everyone in the world. But if you know your IP, your particular IP, then you can simply say that custom IP, and then you can give your particular IP from where you want to allow access for your machine. So for time being, I'm going to allow access to my machine from anywhere so that I can remove the dependency of the IP here. So I'm gonna just allow here SSH traffic. There is no other traffic which will be allowed to my machine here. Alright, so SSH traffic comes at the port 22. That means our machine has opened only port 22 for external world access. If you run any application on your machine other than port 22, then you may not be able to access it from the outside world. Alright, here it says that how much space you want for your machine. So for time being, I'm going to keep here a 30 gigabyte of the SSD size here for my machine, and it has already a single core and 1 gigabyte of the RAM, which we have previously already seen. So this is all you need to do for launching an instance on EC2. Once you have selected all these necessary configuration, thereafter you can simply click on launch instance. Then it's going to launch your instance. It may take a while to launch your instance because it is going to create a new machine and then it will be launching that. Here, so it says that it has successfully initiated the launch sequence. Let's go ahead and click on here. It will open here your machine or instance which is being launched here. The name of instance clearly says that it is YouTube. Here is instance ID and instance state is pending. So once this instance state changes to the running, then you have your instance in running state. Thereafter it has here instance type and so many other type of the parameters, and then here it has here a public IP port. So this is the public IP here, and this is public IP port DNS, and here is the public IP port. All right. So if you click on instance here, then you would be able to see the details of each particular details for this instance. So this is complete the details for this instance. You can check the status of your instance. You can monitor your instance. If you want to monitor your CPU utilizations or any other health checks, all these things you can do it simply from here. Let's go ahead and come to here the set of instances. We have just single instance. You can click on here and then you can click on connect. So once you click on connect, it will tell you here the many types of there are many ways to connect your instance. You can directly connect from here, or you can use a session manager, or you can use here SSH client or EC2 serial console. Any of these things you can use to connect your machine. And our machine, a default username for any Ubuntu machine at the EC2 is Ubuntu there. I'm just gonna simply click on connect. Sometimes in browser it don't connect, it do not connect. So I'm just gonna see if it connects from the browser, then it's good. Otherwise I'll be showing you how you can connect it from your local machine. So seems like from the browser we have successfully connected our machine here, and now you can see the details of your machine with the df-h. This says that the disk free, and it says that there are total 29 gigabyte of the root directory there. In that 6% of SSD is used, and the rest 94% of SSD is free. You can check here du.h, that's the disk uses. So it says that there is not much of the disk uses here. Other than that, you can check with the htop. So htop is command there in Ubuntu to check your machine details and the CPU and the memory utilization. It says that there are the total 1 gigabyte of RAM memory, 221 megabyte memory is being utilized here, and almost 0% of CPU is being utilized here. So this was one way to connect your machine. You can simply press here Ctrl and C to disconnect this htop. You can use here ls to just see that your machine here. Now let me show you the another way with using this SSH client. So with the help of this SSH client, you will be needing your PAM file here. So you have youtube.pam file.
Would you like to have a property business that generates a six-figure income? That's what my property portfolio pays me every.
So this youtube.pam file is downloaded here in my download directory. So inside this download directory, I'm going to open a terminal here. If you do not open terminal in download directory, you need to navigate your directory to this particular download directory. Now that's where I have there. Once you get that, then we need to come back to our EC2 connect instance page. In that, you need to run here chmod 400 YouTube so that you can make it read only and you can avoid its public visibility. So for that purpose, you need to again come back here and then you need to just run here chmod 400 youtube.pam. After running this particular thing, seems like it is not able to recognize the chmod. So in that case, you need to open here a command prompt. Then you need to go to here download there. All right, let's go ahead and run it here. Again, it says that the chmod is not recognizable. Okay, so what happens here in Windows PowerShell and in Windows command prompt, the chmod is not recognizable. So for that purpose, you need to use their git bash. So I'm going to use this git bash to make sure that it works here. So you just simply go to your download folder there. Inside that, I run here chmod 400 youtube.pam. Now you see there it has simply ran that. After that, you need to click your machine. So I write here EC2 machine and all these DNS. This is the DNS name. So I simply write here SSH-I, that says that where is my identity file. So my identity file is here. And then this is machine, the public DNS. So I simply copy this whole thing from here and then I go here and then I just simply click on here. So after that, it will ask you if you want to connect with your machine. Yes, I do want to connect with my machine. Now I have successfully connected with my machine. So I have shown you the two way how you can connect with your Ubuntu machine. Now whatever application you want to install on your Ubuntu machine, you can install and you can run your application on EC2. So this particular IP is accessible from anywhere in the world because I have made such a provision while creating my instance. If you want to change that settings, you can simply click on instance setting and then you can change your setting or whatever the settings you want to change here. You click on networking, you come with the networking settings here, and so many other type of settings you can access from here itself. You click on the security, then you click on change security group. So this is particular security group. This security group allows my IP to access it from anywhere in the world, like you had seen at the start of video lecture. All right, so this is how you can create Ubuntu machine on AWS. Now you can run your application here. So this is all about in this list.
Okay, so the video showed how to create our virtual machine through EC2 instance. And yeah, so there are different ways for us to run our Linux system. So we can run that from our local Linux machine. We can use EC2, AWS EC2. Also, there are other type of cloud-based development environment, such as Google Cloud Shell, obviously Microsoft Azure Cloud Shell, and so on. And also, this can be done through virtual machine. not sure if you're familiar with virtual machine, but here it is. So you can download Oracle VirtualBox. Once you've downloaded the VirtualBox, you can now you can now install this virtual machine into your computer. So where is that virtual machine? Why is it not working? Did you say something, Joshua?
No.
Oh, for some reason it's not loading.
Now, with that virtual box, can you connect the virtual box with your AWS?
To your EWS.
Yes.
No, you run instances directly from that virtual machine. In what way do you want to connect it?
Okay.
Yeah, so from that virtual box where you have your virtual machine installed, you can now run basic Linux commands, and there are loads of commands you can run. Yeah, so as we mentioned, to demonstrate user management on Linux platform, as we mentioned, there are various platforms that can be used, and then we can run we can do this to perform simple tasks such as creating, modifying, and deleting user accounts. And we can also like set permissions and manage user groups. Also, what we can do, we can manage directories. So we can create and manage directories where all these files can be now stored. And we can also set a directory permission. So there can be a directory ownership and also a list of directory contents. Also, we can update packages index and also upgrade installed packages. So in conclusion, Linux administration involves managing users, directory, ensuring that the user is up to date by following the steps outlined above, where we can efficiently manage users' account, set appropriate permission on directories, and maintain the system with regular updates and upgrades. So these skills are fundamental for maintaining a secure and efficient Linux environment. So that was everything for today's session. Is there any question for me?
Yes. Well, you did show me how to create a instance. How are you meant to go inside it and start creating the server and things like that in AWS?
On the virtual machine.
In the virtual machine, you create in AWS.
Oh, I don't think you're required to get those steps for your
But you
assignment.
said that you needed to create a user inside your Linux of the virtual box. Wouldn't that mean you have to
the
go
virtual
inside
box? Oh,
Not the-
because I don't have a Linux machine installed on my virtual box at the moment.
No, in AWS you can
Yeah.
create a Linux. You can create Linux,
Yeah.
but don't you have to create users in the Linux?
On AWS, we created virtual machine, like we created instances, like how you see from the guy in the video.
Okay.
Well, what did you want it to connect again? Say that again.
What I'm saying is that inside of AWS VirtualBox machine,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you mean to create users?
Oh, to administer, you mean? To perform like Linux administration tasks, like creating.
A user like you had in that one PowerPoint, you said create users and things.
Yeah.
How are you meant to do that inside AWS's virtual machine?
1 second. Let me get on to that one. What is that? So AWS. AWS Cloud. Okay, let me share this. Where is it again? Managing a user device.
Are Linux and the Ubuntu the same?
So we have Linux.
Hi everyone.
Windows. Hello.
Hello?
Hi everyone. Welcome to